Hello everyone, Rich from Mowd. Welcome to week 3 of the lawn renovation and the recuperation following the workers that came and dug the huge trench in the garden. It's been a good week so far. The grass is looking a lot greener. We've had a few curveballs this week, namely the lawn mowers. But the silver lining to that is it's given us an idea to look at the two different types of lawn mowers to help you decide which kind of mower to buy. So we'll be looking at my two different types of lawn mowers. I've got the Atco Balmoral and I've also got a Cobra rotary mower as well, so we'll take a closer look at both of those. I think when we look back at the previous videos, we'll see the lawn starting to recover quite a lot now. If you remember last week we sprayed the kelp and the humic acid. I think that's really helped at the bottom and certainly helped the turf kind of take, and we'll have a quick close look at that. I'm having a few problems with the grass seed. It's not germinated as well as I'd have hoped, so might need to try and address that sometime this week. I've got some seed and some topsoil coming this week, so we'll try and address that. But then as well, looking at the weather this week, I think there's a bit of rain around Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so it'd have been ideal if I could have got the grass seed down this week really, so hopefully I can. And then just a few really interesting bits from about the lawn, walking about the lawn, cutting the lawn, that I've noticed. We've got some blue patches appearing, kind of like still grassy, but they've got like a blue hue to them, and that usually is indicative of a lack of water in the lawn. It's like this pre-dry state. So I'll show you where those blue areas are, and I have been watering the lawn a lot, but I've been neglecting the area at the top of the garden where these blue patches are, because I've been focusing on the grass seed, on the repaired grass and on the new turf, and I've just forgotten about the top of it. So I'll address that with some sprinkling. But first thing to do today, I guess, is to cut the lawns. I'm going to nurse the Atco through the front lawn. I've got a lot of grinding in the pinion gear, but I'm going to nurse it through the front because it's starting to look really good, and I just want that really clean cut from the cylinder mower. But then I'm going to have to use the rotary mower again on the back lawn. Not overly keen. I need to sharpen the blade. I'll show you the blades in a second, but it still provides a decent cut, and we can definitely still get those stripes. So for all those people who say I can't get stripes, I haven't got a cylinder mower, then this video is right for you. Thanks for joining us again this week. If you like the video, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe as well. It means we get the information, the videos pushed to you, and comment down below if you prefer cylinder mowers to rotary mowers and why. Let us know. But for now, let's go and take a look at the lawn. So a couple of things to update this week. We're going to look at the new turf. You can see the new turf that's been laid along here, taking really well now actually. There's even the areas down here that I pulled on a few weeks ago. Even they are starting to go a little bit. Still got some deep burrows there. What we got, like an inch drop, so we've got some seed and topsoil coming this week. But even this bit here, I was able to pick this up a week ago. That's almost bedded in now. So that's not going too bad. But if I turn around, you've got some bare patches here. Like I say, we've got the seed and topsoil coming this week. But if I show you up there, you can see kind of along here, these are the bare patches, and it kind of continued up there. So it is definitely coming on compared to what it was, but we definitely have bare patches to address, and we'll be doing that this week. As for the grass seed, turf in the middle is taken brilliantly, and you'll see there are areas of grass seed like this which are super thick and lush. We've got areas where it's just starting to come through, and we've got areas where it's completely and utterly sparse. This one's not a bad area. But what are we on now? We're on day, let's see, 15? Day 15. This area is filling in nicely, and what you'll find is some of the grasses will start to creep anyway. One area I am struggling with, there's some new grass coming through. One area I'm struggling with is this section up here. Just looks a little bit bare. But like I say, we'll give it another week. And see what happens. Might need to have just a little bit more seed, a bit more topsoil. And then a couple of other things I did notice yesterday, or today, sorry, after I cut the lawn, is this area of the garden became quite, I could just see a slight blue hue to it. I don't know if you can see it now. It's basically lack of water. We haven't had much rain, and I've been watering a fair bit, but I've been concentrating on the new seed and the new turf, which looks great. What I hadn't been doing was watering the top of my garden. As you can see, it does actually slope kind of that way. So this is the high spot, the dry spot. So I'll get the sprinkler out in a little bit, give that a water, just to make sure all the nutrients we've been put on over the last kind of few weeks are starting to settle in. You just see as well now, if I show you down here how fine these grasses are. Those are the grasses that I've chosen for the back lawn. Probably not the best. If you've got kids, you want a much thicker sward than that. But it's the grass I went with, because I don't mind spending hours outside. But if you want a much easier wearing grass than that, then you can pick the appropriate seed mix. But yeah, it's all coming on now. Give another week. And you see I'm cutting the new grass now, cut straight over it. And you can see how it's still striping up nicely as well. It is coming on. But it's going to need another few weeks, I think. So some of you may have been watching over the last few weeks and realised that I use two different types of lawn mowers, and the lawn mower that I use very much depends on the job that I'm trying to achieve. Now fundamentally there are two different types of mower. On my right here, the green Atco Balmoral is what we refer to as a cylinder mower, where the red cylinder in the middle rotates and pushes the grass onto a bed knife. That creates a really nice, clean and even cut. A favourite mower, the best one if you want aesthetically, you want the best lawn, but also it's best for the grass. It's a much better cut, it doesn't bruise the grass and therefore helps it be a little bit more resistant to disease. Whereas the Cobra, the red Cobra I've got over here, is what we refer to as a rotary. So that turns like the propeller on a helicopter, spins around and basically just chops the grass and kind of tears it really. Not as good for the grass health. It bruises the sward, and I'll show you some clips of when I've been using that recently. But actually it is a much more hardy mower. It's cheaper to run, it's easier to repair, and if I do end up catching a stone or a curb or anything like that, I just take the blade off the bottom, put it in the vise, file off the edge, and it's as good as new. The Atco, on the other hand, if you draw a stone into the cylinder and catch on the bed knife and damage the bed knife, you're looking at a couple of £100 just to replace that bed knife. So if you're deciding which mower's for you, it depends what you want from a lawn. Pristine lawns and you've got time to maintain and look after, you'll go for a cylinder. If you want something that's a bit more rough and ready but still can produce a fairly decent level of cut, then you're going to be looking at a rotary mower like the Cobra. Now both lawn mowers will have varying features depending on the level of mower that you buy. For instance, the width of the cut, this one's a 20-inch cut, whereas the Cobra here is only a 14-inch cut. You can go down to some of the Quellcast 14-inch mowers. I think they even do a 14-inch Balmoral, and you can go right up to about 36 inches as well for the bigger gardens. A big, heavy lawnmower. Now this one's a lot smaller, a lot lighter, but for me, one of the downsides of this mower is as soon as I let go, I want to empty the basket. As soon as I let go of these two levers, the mower turns off, so I have to pull start it again. Not such a problem, but this one I can actually just turn the revs down, pull the bucket off the front, and we're away. So this will just lean forward and pull the grass bucket, which again is a bit heavier, and then it just drops onto the front of the mower, whereas this one will collect from the rear, so that one will hook on at the back. And already you can tell that this lawnmower, as the cut deck is here, will be a lot easier to get up to the edges than the Atco will. Both will stripe. They both stripe because they both have rear rollers. It's a common misconception that rotary mowers can't stripe the lawn, but as you can see from today's video, I used this rotary mower to cut the lawn and it works absolutely fine. But again, what you'll notice on the Atco is that we have two rollers, one front and one back. So yesterday I did actually end up catching a stone with a lawnmower, so I'm going to take the bottom blade off now, take it into the workshop and just run it down with a file a few times just to sharpen the blade up. So what I need to do with this one, first thing that's really important is that you actually disconnect the spark plug, because you can actually start the mower by turning the crank. Make sure your petrol cap's up tight so you get no leakage, and then find the nut on the bottom and undo it. undo the nut and then stand the lawnmower up before it starts to leak fuel. There we go. And you can see on there that I've took some quite big dinks out of this blade. It is my rough mower, so that's not too much of a problem. So I've taken the blade off of the rotary lawn mower. I've been using it a lot for the last kind of week because my Balmoral is a little bit poorly. It's got to go away for another repair. And what I actually noticed when I did my last cut is the grass wasn't looking as fine as it could do. It's never going to be as fine as using a cylinder mower, but it usually cut better. And then I remembered it had been an awful long time since I'd actually sharpened this blade. You can see that I've caught some quite big dinks on it over the last year. I probably will need to get a new blade, but you saw how easy that was. It's just the one bolt and washer to take that off. It literally took seconds. So all I'm going to do now is pop this in my vise and just start to do a bit of a file. Just a metal file here, and I'm just going to run the file down the edges just to take out any of the dinks and nicks and try and sharpen it a bit more. But it takes a bit of time. You can actually, sometimes I end up using my Dremel if I want a really sharp blade, but don't forget as well to sharpen the bottom edge of it, so the bottom edge will lie flat. So you want to make sure it's a flat bottom edge, and then that you just run a bit of metal down just like that. That's one side, and give the other side a quick sharpen.
This side's probably the worst side, actually. Yeah, that's a sharper.
So that, oh yeah, that's much sharper. You can see some of the dinks and some of the nicks in there. Probably worth getting a new blade for next season, but for now, that'll do. So I'm just going to go back to the mower, pop that on, make sure it's the right way around, and cut the lawn. So just out of the workshop, finished sharpening the blade. So all I've got to do now, put the mower back on its side. Don't forget the washer, start to thread it in. Find the spanner and tighten it up righty-tighty. Nice and tight, just be careful you don't slip. Catching your finger on that blade is not pleasant. Stand the mower up. Don't forget, reconnect your spark plug, and then you're good to go. So we managed to get the front lawns cut today with the Atco. We managed to nurse it through. There's a lot of grinding coming from the rear roller, so I might have to send that away again to get repaired, but the front lawn is looking absolutely brilliant at the moment. The back lawn, different story because we had to use a different mower. We used the rotary mower today, but again, what you got to see today is the two different types of lawn mower and how they can both be used to produce really good cuts and stripes. More importantly, that's what everyone's after. So you can definitely use rotary and cylinder mowers to good effect in the lawn, so don't be hung up on which mower that you've got. The grass seed, yeah, look, we've taken a look at the grass seed. It's not germinating as quickly as I'd like, despite the humic acid and the kelp that we put down last week. I think on reflection, that's probably because I haven't kept it damp enough. There's a few days where I've only watered it maybe once and I've probably forgotten, and it has been really warm again the last couple of weeks. So I'm going to make sure I keep it watered over the next week. If nothing's happened by next week, I will look at adding a bit more seed, a bit more top dressing. So we'll keep an eye on that. And I think now as well, you see the areas of lawn that we were trying to rejuvenate, the bit between the turf and the main lawn. You see how much that's actually come on. Yes, we've got the bare patches, which again I'll seed this week, but the grasses that didn't die are actually doing brilliantly. So with the blue patches that I mentioned at the start of the video, I put the sprinkler on them. They've had probably about 20 mil of water on the sprinklers, and already, it's only been a few hours, already they're starting to look better. I'll give them more water over the next couple of days, and normally we wouldn't water every day. We would do it maybe twice a week, but water really well and deep. But I just want to pay a little bit more attention to the top of the lawn, and we'll see that blue hue kind of disappearing. And again, the grass getting thicker and lusher, so the sprinkler's already been on for that. Weather this week, we're looking at rain Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, which is great. It saves me getting the sprinkler out and might help me because I keep forgetting to water the seed. As all I need to do is keep an eye on that rain and make sure it's not too heavy, because I could still suffer from some erosion of the topsoil around the new seed if it is too heavy. I'll keep an eye on that. If I need to, I'll put a fleece on it, but I think we're at the point now where I can pretty much let the rain do its thing. Again, it means I can't get out to cut the lawn until probably Thursday, Friday. It will definitely have 2 cuts this week. That's important. Best thing you can do for a nice looking lawn is to cut it regularly. If you wait until it looks like the lawn needs cutting, that's probably too late. So nice regular mowing at least twice a week at this current time of year. Next week's video, we're going to be seeding and top dressing the bare patches that are still hanging around the bottom of the garden. So we'll do a quick video on that. And maybe if my lawnmower gets sent away for repair and comes back in time, I'll have a quick video at what was wrong with that. But apart from that, that's pretty much it for this week. I do hope you've enjoyed the video again. Comment below if you've got any questions about what you've seen this week, particularly where you sit with regards to rotary mowers and cylinder mowers. I think it's always an interesting conversation. I'm lucky enough to own both, and I use them both consistently throughout the year. But again, if you've liked today's video, give us a big thumbs up, like the video, and don't forget to subscribe. It's completely free and we get to push our information to you. So again, we'll see you next week. Thanks very much for watching. Bye.